a seco celebiro Sarune let win coupon saviro Pishin Piava Ome.
Sayadaw will continue to explain and discourse on the talk that he gave yesterday by referring to both the theoretical and practical aspects.
Niga Tainchaze Kanama Tainjene Nandayane Taine Yudaya Time Hugo Siasai Chindaga Vido Swemyeswa Shumaye Guebido Tilare Sura Pishin Piage Babi.
It was explained how if the process of sitting was carefully followed and noted with accurate mindfulness, one may be able to come to realize and know in a very first-hand basis that there exists two sort of phenomena. The mental phenomena consisting in the intention to sit, and the various material phenomena that occur in the process of actually sitting.
Dilo Nanayo Quevia Vida the get she the Bogo Didi Jaja Titare at wet. The Nanayo appear a cha Pogutawa Mashibu a deck on Mashibu so that a dinyang ha Shendwaro Adaditi Quadovare. Nanayum Yaquediga Adaditi Quazure, the Adaditi Quadore, Kendovare. The Niabin the Gaditi le Quadovare.
Upon gaining this intuitive insight into the nature of things in terms of just these two phenomena of mental phenomena and material phenomena, one comes to realize that in reality meaning direct experiential reality, there is in fact no such thing as a person, a being, a permanent, unchanging entity, call it what you may. So this insight that distinguishes mental and physical phenomena, mental and material phenomena, has the power of cutting through the false view of self.
Quadore Suragaro a chain a piak quadora or Mahopa. A chain bainly the ring up behind in a quadora. A chain a piak quadagaro, Quanainagaro, Totapati manajama, Quanamare.
Although one may be free from the false view of self, from self-identification, through this particular insight, this is not a permanent freedom. This freedom from self-identification, occurs only on a temporary basis, on a momentary, provisional basis. If a more permanent sort of freedom from this self-identification is sought, it can only be achieved through the attainment of the noble path consciousness.
Adaditi kwa re sure zakazu ma Atta ajaung li the pi ro pyo ma Bhuန်းကြီးမှာတာဝန်ကျေပါလိမ့်မယ်။ဒါကြောင့်အတ္တအကြောင်းလေးနည်းနည်းစကားဆက်လျင်းလို့လိုအပ်တာနဲ့မလို့ပြောပြရစီအောင်ရှင်းပြရစီအောင်
What is this wrong view of self? Perhaps at this point it would be most appropriate to deal at some length on this subject of self, of atta as it is known in Pali.
ဒီအတ္တဆိုတာဟာတိပရမအတ္တနဲ့နှစ်ဇီဝအတ္တလို့နှစ်မျိုးရှိပါတယ်
Traditionally, atta is classified into two categories. We have parama atta and jiva atta.
အဲ့ဒီတည်းကဇီဝအတ္တကိုပဲပြောပြစီအောင်
Sayadaw would like to first talk about jiva atta.
ဒီအတ္တဆွဲဟာအိန္ဒိယကနေပြီးတော့ပေါ်ပေါက်ခဲ့တယ်လို့ဒီလိုပဲယုံကြည်ပါတယ်
It is believed that this view of atta comes from ancient Indian times.
ဘုဒ္ဓစာပေထဲမှာရှင်းပြထားတာသူတို့အတ္တအကြောင်းရှင်းပြထားတာတော့တရှိတတ္တဝါတိုင်းမှာအလိုအတိုင်းမြင်နိုင်ကြားနိုင်နားနိုင်စားနိုင်ထိနိုင်တဲ့သိနိုင်တဲ့အသက်ကောင်လေးရှိတယ်လို့ဒီလိုယူဆထားပါတယ်အဲ့ဒီအသက်ကောင်လေးဟာတတ္တဝါသူရဲ့တရားတတ္တဝါကြည့်ရင်ကြည့်တဲ့လျောက်အတ္တကကြည့်ပြီးတော့တတ္တဝါငယ်လို့ရှိရင်လည်းအတ္တလေးကငယ်တယ်ပြီးတော့တတ္တဝါပျက်စီးသွားပြီမယ်လို့ဒီအတ္တလေးကမပျက်စီးပဲနဲ့အမြဲတမ်းတီးနေတယ်လို့ဒီလိုသူတို့ယူဆကြပါတယ်အဲ့လိုယူဆခံရတဲ့အတ္တကိုဇီဝအတ္တလို့ခေါ်ပါတယ်
Present Buddhist texts tell us that the atta that was the concept or the notion of atta prevalent in ancient times refer to a sort of a spirit that sort of pervades every living and non-living thing in this whole universe. That spirit, it seems, varies in size and shape in accordance with that particular living or non-living thing in which it abides. And it is said that all experiences are actually felt or experienced by this spirit. And even if a living or non-living thing were to die, that particular spirit does not die. It is everlasting, and that it stays on even at the physical death of its so-called shell.
အဲ့ဒီအသက်ကောင်လေးရှိတယ်လို့ယူဆလို့ရှိရင်အသက်ကောင်လေးနဲ့စက်တဲ့ပုဂ္ဂိုလ်တ attva ဆိုတဲ့အစွဲဟာလည်းပဲအလိုလိုပါလာတော့တာပဲယောက်ျားမိန်းမဆိုတဲ့အစွဲဟာလည်းပဲအလိုလိုပါလာတော့တာပဲ
If one firmly believes in the existence of this spirit, then quite automatically one can get very attached to the notion of self, to the notion of a separate being, of a separate individual, of man and woman.
တကယ်လို့ထိုင်ချတဲ့ခဏမှာထိုင်ခြင်းနဲ့စိတ်အစဉ်စဉ်နဲ့ထိုင်ရုပ်အစဉ်စဉ်ကို Siya sai chinda kai video mamaye. Nana yu kelu she the bogu Matina Mabu. Madi at the county gave lonely day. At the county sate Tatawa gave lonely day, so the Asweha went over at other deity as well.
If one is not accurately mindful of the series of intentions and the series of material phenomena occurring in the process of sitting, for example, then one can very naturally be misled into thinking that the spirit that is inherent, that is abiding within oneself, is sitting, is intending to sit. And that this self, this separate entity, which is the shell of this spirit, is doing all these things, is intending to sit and is sitting. That is called atta ditthi, or the wrong view of self.
When I tiny say in Tayo sense in her Tanzakana, the Geshi Hoshi needed Nandaya Asuna Yudia Subabe Erago Palilu Sakaya Lukore Sa Yamotu in the option Tinshashi or Kaya Nazu Yusu.
In actual fact, the series of the series of mental phenomena and the series of physical phenomena belong to what is called the body or the group of predominant mental and physical phenomena. In Pali, that's called Sakkaya Ditthi.
Sakaya.
Sakkaya. Sak here means prominent. Prominent in the sense of being predominant, in being predominant in terms of direct physical or direct personal experience. And kaya means the body or group of physical and mental phenomena.
Eri Taija Zaganava, Eri Nimyo Vesivare. Eri Nimyo go through Piesema, Tine, Siasa Chinda Gabido, Mamaye. Eri Poma, Nagonlia Tine, a Decolia Tine, Sure, a Sueli Yautuabi. Era Dega Ditive. Who Tine Lumado, Tineness is in level to get a sheet of body to Abi. Tine say, Tayo sin level to get a sheet of body to Abi. Tito Lucy, Editha Diti, like Kendore, Suvare. Ada Diti, Nether Diti, a Dudu Baba.
So, in the process of sitting, there is only these two groups of phenomena, which is called Sakkaya and Sakkaya in Pali. Now, if one fails to notice them, or to note them clearly and precisely and penetratively, then it would be very easy for one to fall into the wrong view that I am sitting, or I, this special separate self-entity, is sitting. Or one could even hold the view that this spirit this permanent, unchanging entity called spirit is sitting. So that is called Sakkaya Ditthi. There is a long view in looking, in viewing the group of mental and physical phenomena which are predominant with respect to direct personal experience. Actually, Sakkaya Ditthi and Atta Ditthi are synonyms.
Edilo Nanayu Dhamma Nanayu Tiago, Zgali Taluni Meswafia, don't halate. Dhamma, don't halate.
At times, the Buddha would refer to these two mental and physical phenomena as Dhamma.
Dhamma Sura Dhamma Nisada Nisiwa Sabawa Lusutare. Sabawa Babe. Sabawa Sura Nanga leve Tita de the Bo. Yoga leve Medita de the Bo. Eddie Medita de the Bo Tete Bedave. Eddie the Bolidi Beshide. Eddie the Bolidi Beshide, sort of Nisata Tatua Maho, Nisiwa Adeko Maho. No Bama Mahopula sort of Hode, Sabawa the Hode. Eddie hold the Bolidi, Titi Torava.
So these dhammas in Pali, have certain natural qualities which is known as sabhava in Pali. For example, the material phenomena has the quality or the special characteristic of not knowing. Material phenomena does not know, it cannot know. But mental phenomena has the special characteristic of knowing. It has the capability of knowing an object. However, though they have these special qualities and characteristics, they are not in any way to be regarded as unchanging separate entities, nor to be regarded as an eternal sort of spirit.
Through said Labido Shulu Atekam Hopu, Tatuagam Hopu Sura, Shiendo Babi. Dabi Melo Through my a chow lady she needed. A chow lady, Matide Uso ye. You want and the amu in it. A chow may pili the last for it as well. The Yayoga Panzin Tara Suri as well, the Kugu Bomoya Shibare. Did a thing and the cook sent over Looney Badire?
So when these mental and material phenomena are occurring and we are just right there on the spot with accurate, precise and penetrative mindfulness, then we can penetrate into their true nature. We can really experience for ourselves in a very direct and personal way that these two mental and material phenomena occur for what they really are. We see them for what they really are. However, by merely being able to discriminate or distinguish between mental phenomena and material phenomena is not quite sufficient. One may be quite convinced that there is no soul or no self, no being in those mental and material phenomena. But all sorts of doubts can still arise with regards to how these mental and material phenomena come into being. Do they just pop out of the blues? Do they just come out without any cause? Or are they the products of some super being, some super energy source? So in order to overcome these doubts, we need to take a further step in insight.
ထိုင်ရနေပြီးတော့မမကနေပြီးတော့ထိုင်ချတော့မယ်အပြုပထမဆုံးထိုင်ခြင်းနဲ့စိတ်အစဉ်စဉ်လေးတွေဟာအကြောင်းတရားပဲထိုင်ခြင်းနဲ့စိတ်အစဉ်စဉ်ကြောင့်ထိုင်ရုပ်အစဉ်စဉ်လေးအကျိုးတရားပဲအကြောင်းတရားကြောင့်လက်ငင်းအကျိုးဖြစ်ပုံလေးတွေရှင်းသွားတော့တယောက်ယောက်ကဒီလိုထိုင်လို့စီခိုင်းတာမဟုတ်ဘူးဆိုတာရှင်းသွားတယ်စီခိုင်းတဲ့ပုဂ္ဂိုလ်မရှိဘူးဆိုတာလည်းရှင်းသွားတယ်ထိုင်ချမှုဟာလည်းပဲအကြောင်းရှိတယ်ဆိုတာလည်းနားလည်သွားတယ်တန်တရားကြီးကင်းသွားတယ်
If one is really right there watching all that is happening when one is standing and going through the transition process of bending down to sit. If one is able to catch the intention to sit, and if mindfulness is sharp enough to note that the intention to sit does not only occur once, but that it occurs in a whole series, which produces corresponding material phenomena that is occurring while the sitting process is being carried out. And so it becomes very clear that there is some connection between mental phenomena and material phenomena. That mental phenomena, in this case the intention to sit, is the cause, and the material phenomena, that is the various sensations that you might experience in the process of sitting, are the result, are the effect. So as we become clear that there is some mechanism involved in this, some mechanism of cause and effect underlying this whole process of mental and material phenomena, then it becomes clear to us that these phenomena do not occur because of some whims and fancies of a super being hovering above us, or that they occur without cause.
Dima logi uma daku ne shin pi do pya ya me so ye we do စက်ယုံတွေမှာမော်တာဆိုတာရှိပါတယ်အဲ့ဒီမော်တာဟာတာနေကြီးတွေနဲ့ပေါင်းစပ်ပြီးတော့လှုပ်ထားတဲ့တန်တုံးတန်ခဲကြီးပါပဲဒါပေမဲ့လို့သူ့ကြီးတက်တက်ဆိုရင်ဒီမော်တာဟာမလဲပါဘူးလျှက်စစ်တာထည့်ပေးလိုက်တဲ့အခါကျတော့တခါလေးခြာလဘလဲပြီးတော့ဒီမော်တာနဲ့ဆက်သမျှစက်ယုံတစ်ခုလုံးမှာရှိတဲ့ဟာတွေဟာလှုပ်လှုပ်ရှားရှားအကုန်လုံးဖြစ်ကုန်တာပဲပြီးတော့ဒီမော်တာဟာလျှက်စစ်တာအာမဝင်ခင်ကတော့ဒီအတိုင်းပဲရှိသေးတယ်လှုပ်ရှားမှုမရှိဘူးသူနဲ့ပတ်သက်တဲ့ဟာတွေကလည်းပဲမရွေ့ရှားမလှုပ်ရှားသေးဘူးလျှက်စစ်တာဝင်သွားတဲ့အခါကျမှလှုပ်လှုပ်ရှားရှားကြီးဖြစ်လာတာဒီလိုလှုပ်ရှားတာဟာလျှက်စစ်တာအားကြောင့်ပဲဆိုတာထင်ရှားတယ်ထို့အတူပဲထိုင်ရှင်တဲ့စိတ်အစဉ်စဉ်ဟာလျှက်စစ်တာအားနဲ့တူပြီးတော့ ထိုင်ရုပ်အစဉ်စဉ်ဒီကိုယ်လုံးဟာလှုပ်လှုပ်ရှားရှားဖြစ်သွားတာဟာအကျိုးရုပ်တရားတွေဆိုတာသိထင်ရှားတယ်
To illustrate the point with an example, the Sayadaw draws your attention to engine, to an engine, or to machinery, for example, in a factory. As you know, machines are made up of many parts, made up of many cogs and wheels and chains and so forth. If we were to just leave the machinery in the factory without plugging in the electricity, then it will not be able to work. But as soon as we plug in the electricity, switch it on, then all the parts will move in accordance with what it's set up for. So that it begins. So it is very clear that in that example, electricity is the cause behind the movement of the various parts, behind the working of the machine. Similarly, in the sitting process, the material phenomena connected with the sitting process will not occur if their intention to sit has not yet arisen. So we can draw the analogy of electricity being similar to mental phenomena, and the movement of the machine being similar to the sitting process, the various material phenomena occurring in the sitting process. This is an example which demonstrates that there is a cause, and that cause is a mental phenomena, which is responsible for the occurrence of physical or material phenomena.
အဲ့ဒီထိုင်ရုပ်ရဲ့ထိုင်ရုပ်အဆက်ဆက်အကျိုးတရားရဲ့အကြောင်းဖြစ်တဲ့နာအဆက်ဆက်တရားမှာလည်းပဲသူ့ဆိုင်ရာအကြောင်းလေးတွေလည်းရှိနေပါသေးတယ်အဲ့ဒီအကြောင်းလေးတွေကအချိန်ကြလို့ထိုင်ရမယ်ဆိုတဲ့အတိစိတ်သို့မဟုတ်ညောင်းလို့ပေါ့လေမမရနေရတာညောင်းလို့လမ်းလျှောက်နေရတာညောင်းလို့မခံတာမှုလေးတွေစသည်ပေါ့လေအဲ့ဒါလေးတွေကလည်းပဲထိုင်နေတဲ့စိတ်အကြောင်းလေးတွေပါပဲ
However, this mechanism of cause and effect does not only work in a one-track or one-direction way. The intention to sit too, although it's a cause behind the actual sitting process, has a cause behind it. And that cause behind the intention to sit could come from the desire to sit because one is tired, or because the thought has come into mind that it is time to do the sitting practice, and so forth.
ဒါကတိတယုံမြတ်အကြောင်းကျိုးဆက်ဆက်ပြီးတော့ပြတာပါပရိစ္ဆသမုပ္ပါနီးတို့အဘိဓမ္မာပဋ္ဌာန်းနီးတို့နဲ့ဆက်ဆက်ပြမယ်ဆိုရင်အများကြီးကျေပြန့်ဖို့ရရှိပါတယ်အခုတော့အဲ့ဒါတွေဆက်ဆက်ပြီးတော့မပြဘဲနဲ့တိတယုံမြတ်ပဲဘုန်းကြီးရှင်းပြပါတယ်
Sayadaw is making this explanation of the mechanism of cause and effect in a very simplified form, merely to give you an inkling of the whole process or the principle involved in this law of cause and effect. If one were to explain in terms of the law of dependent origination, or in terms of the patana, the law of conditioning, then it would be very long drawn and detailed.
ပြီးတော့ဒီထဲမှာထိုင်ချတော့မယ်ပြုထိုင်ခြင်းတဲ့စိတ်ကလေးပေါ်လာတော့သူ့ကိုမှတ်တည်တဲ့စိတ်ကလေးကလည်းဖြစ်ရသေးတယ်ထိုင်ခြင်းတဲ့စိတ်ကလေးကအကြောင်းအာယုံတရားဖြစ်ပြီးတော့အဲ့ဒါကိုမှတ်တည်တဲ့စိတ်ကလေးကအကျိုးအာရမဏိကတရားဖြစ်ရပြန်တယ်ပြီးတော့ထိုင်နေလို့မှတ်တဲ့အခါကျတော့ထိုင်ရုပ်အဆင့်ဆင့်ဖြစ်သွားတာလေးတွေကိုရှုသိတဲ့စိတ်ကလေးတွေဖြစ်ရတာထိုင်ရုပ်အဆင့်ဆင့်မဖြစ်ဘူးဆိုရင်ထိုင်တည်တဲ့စိတ်အဆင့်ဆင့်လည်းမဖြစ်ပါဘူးအဲ့တော့ထိုင်ရုပ်အဆင့်ဆင့်အကြောင်းအာယုံတရားရှိလို့အကျိုးဖြစ်တဲ့ထိုင်တည်တဲ့စိတ်အဆင့်ဆင့်အာရမဏိကအကျိုးအကြောင်းတရားတွေအကျိုးတရားလေးတွေဖြစ်ရတယ်ဆိုတာလည်းသိရှင်းပါတယ်
This mechanism of cause and effect can also be clearly seen when this intention to sit, which as we said earlier is the cause for the sitting process, becomes again another cause for the noting mind to arise. So there's this intention to sit, and there is this noting mind, the mind that is able to note that intention to sit. So that noting mind is the result or is the effect of the intention to sit, which is the cause. Or we can look at it another way. The physical process of sitting, which has been brought into being through the intention to sit, will again be the cause for the arising of the noting mind. The noting mind that is able to see or be aware of the physical phenomena happening in the sitting process.
ထိုင်မှုနဲ့စပ်ပြီးတော့ကြောင်းကျိုးတွေဆက်ပြီးတော့ဖြစ်နေပုံပဲအဲ့ဒါပဲကြည့်ပါဘယ်လောက်များသလဲဆိုတာကြည့်ပေါ့ဒါသူတို့ဖြစ်ဆဲလိုက်ပြီးတော့ရှုလို့နာနဲ့ရုပ်အကြောင်းနဲ့အကျိုးဆက်ဆက်ဖြစ်နေပုံလေးတွေရှုလို့သိသွားတဲ့ဉာဏ်ကိုယထာဘုဒ္ဓ ानु ပဿနာဉာဏ်လို့ခေါ်တယ်
So one can perhaps get an idea of the complexity behind this whole mechanism of cause and effect through that little example we used in the sitting process. But this complexity of the mechanism of cause and effect will be understood if we would only allow our minds to be mindful of what is happening from moment to moment. And this understanding, this comprehension, comes, again, is to be stressed, not from rationalizing or intellectualizing, but it comes in a very natural way. It unfolds in itself. There's no necessity for you to go looking for it, to think it out. Now that sort of intuitive wisdom, intuitive understanding or insight is called Yathabhuta Nupassana. which can be translated as seeing things as they really are.
တနည်းအားဖြင့်သဗ္ဗကြယပရိက္ခဟဉာဏ်လို့လည်းခေါ်ပါတယ်အကြောင်းနဲ့အကျိုးဆက်ဆက်ပြီးတော့သိတဲ့ဉာဏ်နဲ့
Or it can also be called the insight that comprehends cause and effect.
တကယ်လို့ဒီဉာဏ်ကြီးကိုယ်ရဲ့စိုက်ပြီးတော့ပေါ်ရလေးတွေပေါ်ဆဲလိုက်ပြီးတော့မရှုရပဲနည်းနဲ့မှမဖြစ်နိုင်ပါဘူးမဖြစ်လို့ရှိရင်တကယ်ရှိအဟုတ်ရှိနေတဲ့ကြောင်းကျိုးဆက်တရားတွေပေါ်မှာပြင်းပြင်းထန်ထန်ကြီးတွေးဝေရှုပ်ထွေးပြီးတော့တင့်တော်တဲ့အကြောင်းကိုမသိရတော့တကူရှင်တူကဖန်ဆင်းသလားဆိုတဲ့အစွဲကြီးပေါ်လာနိုင်ပါတယ်အဲ့ဒီအစွဲကိုတော့သမ္မောဟဘိနိဝေစလို့ခေါ်ပါတယ်
So it may become obvious that if we want to know in a very direct and personal, first-hand way, we must look at what is happening with penetrative mindfulness at every moment. If this moment-to-moment mindfulness is not present, then it is very easy for us to be swept away by our thoughts and our ideas and our theories and our speculations and so forth about who we are and what we are. And it's very tempting to succumb to the theory or belief that there is someone above us, someone who is controlling all these phenomena.
So, ဆိုလိုတာကတော့အကြောင်းနဲ့အကျိုးဆက်ဆက်ပုံမသိတော့ဘဝပေါင်းများစွာပေါ့လေစိတ်ရှုပ်ထွေးပြီးတော့အကြောင်းပဲဖြစ်တယ်ဆိုတဲ့အစွဲနဲ့တယောက်ကဖန်ဆင်းတယ်ဆိုတဲ့အစွဲပေါ့လေစူးဝင်နေတာချွတ်မရအောင်လို့စူးဝင်နေတဲ့အစွဲကြီးလို့ဒီလိုဆိုလိုပါတယ်
This belief in the power of a supreme being, of an external supernormal being, which is able to control or oversees all our actions and activities and so forth, as well as the belief or view that there is no creator and there is no one behind what is happening. There is no cause. That what is happening now is happening by chance. There is no cause at all. These two beliefs is embedded in many people, precisely because over this long journey through samsara, from time immemorial, we have been caught in all these phenomena because we have not been able to pay attention to it, bear attention, bear awareness to them whenever they occurred from moment to moment.
အခုတော့ ကြောင်းကျိုးသိလိုက်တာနဲ့ပဲအကြောင်းမဲ့ဖြစ်တယ်ဆိုတဲ့အစွဲအိုက်တုကဒိဋ္ဌိလည်းပြုတ်သွားပြီသူအကြောင်းနဲ့သူအကျိုးလေးတွေဆက်ဆက်ပြီးတော့ဖြစ်နေပုံရှင်းတော့တင့်တော်တဲ့အကြောင်းမသိရင်အကြောင်းမဟုတ်တဲ့ဟာအကြောင်းလုပ်ယူတဲ့ဝိသမဟိတုကဒိဋ္ဌိကြီးလည်းပဲဒီမှာပြုတ်သွားပြီ
ဝိသမဟိတုဆိုတာမလဲ
ဝိသမဟိတုဆိုတာဖန်ဆင်းခြင်းထည့်ယူတာအကြောင်းမဟုတ်တဲ့အကြောင်းလုပ်ယူတာ
Failure to understand this whole mechanism of cause and effect in a direct experiential way by observation of things as they occur from moment to moment through bare awareness will of course make it impossible for a person to be freed from very, very firm beliefs of ahetuka ditthi, which means the view or the wrong belief that there is no cause behind existence, there is no cause behind all phenomena. And also freedom from the belief that there is a cause which is not the actual cause, which is actually an euphemism for the belief in a supernatural being that is responsible for our creation, or the creation of all things.
Tùy cái lúc tụi cháu này tụi chú mà tí phản sinh xin thay lại thì ấy phản sinh xin của phản sinh xin dùng chỉ để bố cụ nhà Parama Atta ji lúc đi lưu sa đấy em nói xem miền Atta ji bảo đi ấy Atta ji ha các bà ji của lấy về phản sinh này các bà lâu của lấy về số ya đấy cái khu đấy là gì đấy tu alo tai loka ji ga lai yade soda po le ai tlo yong chi lek khan tha de atta ji ko parama atta lo khaw de.
Again, ignorance of this mechanism of cause and effect will quite naturally lead a person to believe in the existence of a parama and for parama atta, which can be translated as the existence of a great soul, a great spirit. And that parama atta, or great spirit, or great soul, is described in Buddhist texts as one, or as an energy source, or great spirit and soul which pervades the whole universe, or not really pervade, but which is in control of the whole universe, which there is only one, and create and that great soul, or great spirit, is responsible for the creation of all things conceivable, and that it is eternal.
Aku tindaw de achaung jaw achiu ti lai ta ne be adi nyan le ga kona parama atta aswe ji achain bain phuk pai de tu ba achain piye long wa pyat phut soda ga ro tattapatti met ne ta pyat nai ba
le. The penetrative insight into the cause and effect of all mental and material phenomena, has the power and capability of cutting through this firm belief in this super creator of this great soul on a temporary or provisional basis, on a momentary basis. Total freedom from this view, from this belief in the great soul, can only be achieved through the attainment of the first noble path consciousness, the path consciousness of the stream winner.
Udadivita Ledwidiyari Atolu Guru Nyamye Jongju Sesapong Timine Dinyani Lekanya Laita Neve or Buddha Jongju Nabada Shidesura Jongju Sepesura Gurunga Ajalobe Tienlobe Gurunga Guru Emi De Mambala Surabori Kubayane a debut to carry some such a chadora. Yuna Guezinga debut some such a Jari Dada Diaboma, Jongju, the Gashin Lini Dilu, the same body, Ogabana Dada Diadama as dead Latinama.
Of course, if one has had this personal and direct experience on the intuitive level into this whole mechanism of cause and effect, it will become very clear that the teaching of the Buddha has been verified by oneself. We may have heard or read a great deal about this whole business of mental and material phenomena and how they are connected by this mechanism of cause and effect. But as long as we do not personally and directly experience it in a very intuitive level, all that we have in possession is second-hand knowledge. But with this experience of first-hand knowledge, it comes about not with rationalizing or intellectualizing, but as has been stressed, through a very intuitive way, achieved only through the application of then one can truly say that one's verified faith has been deepened a step further. It has been deepened a step further in comparison with the first insight into the first insight that is able to distinguish between matter and mind.
Diro Koche Charlie, Didi Vitandaya Atoma, Didi Mamuya Nade. Didi Mamuyama, Dilu Kanyuje, a divi somshache, Tada Diari, Pinane Sura, where you let me Atonijare. Yogi Puku Mia Kuri Pipalime Puniga Shimbiani Wuram.
Possibly, most of you present in this hall at the moment may be able to testify to the fact that Satipatthana Vipassana meditation is can be responsible for verifying truth that everything consists of nothing more than mind and matter, and that they are connected in a very intricate and complex mechanism of cause and effect.
ယခုထိုင်စက်ခဏမှာရှုလို့ကြောင်းကျိုးဆက်ပုံနေပစ္စကကိုယ်တွေ့ဉာဏ်မြင်အနေနဲ့ရှင်းရင်ဟိုတုန်းကလည်းပဲထိုင်မှုနဲ့ပတ်သက်ပြီးတော့ကြောင်းကျိုးဆက်တရားတွေဖြစ်ခဲ့ပြီနောက်လည်းပဲထရမှာမမရက်ကနေပြီးတော့ထိုင်ချတော့တဲ့ထိုင်ချမဲ့အခါမျိုးမှာဒီလိုအကြောင်းကျိုးတွေရှိနေဥမယ်ဆိုတာပေါ့လေကာလသုံးပါးနဲ့ပတ်သက်ပြီးတော့လည်းပဲတန်တရားတွေရှင်းသွားတတ်တယ်မိမိတဏ္ဍာမှာဒီလိုရှင်းတယ်လို့သူများရဲ့တဏ္ဍာမှာလည်းပဲဒီလိုပဲအကြောင်းနဲ့အကျိုးပဲဆိုတာလည်းပဲအဲ့ဒီလိုချက်ထွင်ပြီးတော့လည်းပဲဉာဏ်ကြီးပွားတတ်ပါတယ်
When this particular insight into the mechanism of cause and effect underlying this process of mind and matter is experienced at a very personal and direct manner, then we can further extend or extrapolate that knowledge into the past and the future. Once we have experienced it in the here and now, in an intuitive way, it becomes also very clear that in the past, all the mind and matter that occurred too were connected by this similar mechanism of cause and effect, and that future mind and matter that will occur too will be governed by this same mechanism. We can further infer that this whole process of mind and matter, which is occurring as a result of this mechanism of cause and effect, happens not only within ourselves, but also in all other beings.
ဒီတော့ဘုန်းကြီးတို့ယောဂီများဒီလိုကြောင်းကျိုးဆက်တွေရှင်းသွားအောင်လို့ကိုယ်ရဲစိုက်ပြီးတော့လက်ငင်းပေါ်တဲ့နဲ့လုံးရင်ပေါ်တဲ့အာရုံနဲ့ကြိုက်အောင်ဆွဲဆွဲမြဲမြဲရှုမှတ်ပြီးတော့ကိုယ်တိုင်အသိဉာဏ်นี่ဖြစ်ပွားဖို့ပဲလိုပါတယ်ကိုယ်တိုင်အသိဉာဏ်นี่ဖြစ်လာလို့ရှိရင်ဘယ်သူကမှမယုံပါနဲ့လို့ပြောနေဖို့မလိုဘူးကိုဟာကိုလက်ခံလာတာပဲအတင်းယုံခိုင်းတာမျိုးလည်းမဟုတ်ဘူးကိုယုံကြည်လာတာပဲအဲ့ဒါလိုယုံကြည်မှုတတ္တတရားရှိလာတာဟာသတ္တစံပန်တော်လို့ခေါ်ပါတယ်
So it only remains for all of you, of all yogis present here, to just allow your minds, allow your mindfulness to look within yourself, within your mind and body processes, so that this bare awareness can be activated in a very accurate and precise manner, and so that you will eventually penetrate into the truths that we talked about, into the fact that there is only mind and matter, and that they are connected by a very complex mechanism of cause and effect. And when that happens, when we gain that intuitive and very special insight into this nature of reality, these aspects of the nature of reality, then the faith that comes out of our direct experience is unshakable. It is not dependent upon another person. We need not have to entertain other people's ideas when they try to shove it down our throat, so to speak. It is something that has been experienced deep down in your heart. It is totally unshakable.
ကြာကြာကိုယ်မူရာတွေနဲ့ပတ်သက်ပြီးတော့ကြောင်းကျဆက်ပုံတွေလည်းပဲဟောစရာတွေအများကြီးရှိပါသေးတယ်။ပြီးတော့နာအကြောင်းကြောင့်ရုပ်အကျိုးဖြစ်ပုံရုပ်အကြောင်းကြောင့်နာအကျိုးဖြစ်ပုံနာအကြောင်းကြောင့်နာအကျိုးဖြစ်ပုံနဲ့ရုပ်အကြောင်းကြောင့်ရုပ်အကျိုးဖြစ်ပုံပေါ့လေ။ဆက်ဆက်ပြီးတော့ဟောစရာတွေအများကြီးရှိပါသေးတယ်။ဒီနေ့ဒါလောက်ပဲတော်ကြပါစို့။ဒီခုကြောင်းကျဆက်ပုံတွေထိုက်တန်သမျှထိုင်မှုနဲ့စပြီးတော့ဖြည့်ရှင်းပြတဲ့ဓမ္မဒေသနာတို့ယုသိစွာနာကမှတ်သားသောဓမ္မသမဏကုသကံစေရနာ၏အစွမ်းအာနုဘောကြောင့်အလုံးသောပိဋကပေါင်းတို့ဟာကိုယ်ရဲ့ဆက်ပြီးတော့လက်ငင်းပေါ်တဲ့အာယုန်နဲ့ကြိုက်အောင်မှတ်နိုင်ကြလို့ကြောင်းကျဆက်တရားတွေကိုအစဉ်စဉ်သိမြင်ပြီးတော့နောက်ဆုံးယုံနာနာပါချုပ်ငင်းတဲ့နိဗ္ဗာန်ကိုမျက်မှောက်ပြုတဲ့အထိကြိုးစားအထောက်နိုင်ကြပါစေလို့ဆုတောင်းရင်းနဲ့ဒီတရားဒီနေ့အဆုံးသတ်လိုက်ပါတယ်
There are various other aspects of this mechanism of cause and effect that the Sayadaw would like to talk about. For example, how mind can be a cause for matter to arise, and how matter can be a cause for mind to arise, or how mind can be the cause for mind to arise, and matter can be the cause for matter to arise, and so forth, of all possible various combinations. However, we don't really have the time today. And Sayadaw would like to conclude today's talk by hoping that all of you, by the power of having listened to this Dhamma talk, all of you may be able to work through your practice, activate continuous, penetrative, accurate, precise mindfulness at every moment. Really experience this insight on an intuitive level of cause and effect, and eventually make it to Nibbana.